It'd have been something he did, which
I know.
never happens. But if it was, he's straight up with you and say, I've screwed it up. Bring it in. No charge.
I know.
No
He's just a nice guy to deal with because if you've dealt with some of these other places, I mean, I got guys that got horror stories of taking their motor into the same place, and they do this to it and screw it up, and they do this and that. One guy, I had a buddy of mine who took this motor in. And he took this motor into a shop, and the guy had never worked on an Evo before. And they said, well, he knows a lot about shovels, so we'll get the guy on it. He knows all about it. So this guy did some goofy thing that you would only do on a shovel head that you'd never do on an Evo. Totally balled the guy's motors up. Then they were like, well, we'll fix it up. But then the shop went out of business. So he's like chasing these guys around, trying to get them to do the long story short, Scott's been around for 1,000,000 years. He's going to be here today. He's going to be here tomorrow. You get these other fly-by-night assholes, and you're in a world of hurt. That's all there's to it.
And everybody in town knows Scott Yamasaki. Yep. And not just in this town. They know him in Phoenix.
I know.
I got brothers in Phoenix that done business with Scott Yamasaki. They asked me, where'd you get your motor done? I told them, Scott, a guy up in Denver named Scott. Oh, is that Yamasaki?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So with that, let's go to part 2 of Equipment Shed. Let's finish up with Scott.
Yeah.
And see what he's got to finish up with tonight. And then we'll get out of here at a decent hour. What do you think? It's Mardi Gras. It's Fat Tuesday.
Fat Tuesday.
Fat Tuesday. That means I get to eat a cheese sandwich when I get home with mayonnaise. Right?
Excellent, man.
Outstanding.
Good stuff.
So I can't wait for that because, as you know, I like to eat.
I get to go to Arby's because I'm having surgery, so that's good. That's a rule we have in the family. If you get to I'm having my teeth drilled.
Well, what are you going to get to eat though?
Arby's? Oh, well, just two. The Arby's, regular Arby's sandwich. I don't care what anybody says. Wait, he says we're dragging him down. Let's go watch this thing. We'll talk about sandwiches
Okay,
later.
run the Equipment Shed for us, guys.
Go ahead.
Are you new to the world of choppers and don't know where to start?
Bike need fixing and you probably need a tune-up?
Well, Trash will give you a first-class education in Choppers 101. He will show you how to get the job done right in this week's edition of Equipment Shed.
Where are you going?
Equipment Shed.
Hey, we're back. Scott had to take care of some business. Nice chance to take a break, look around the shop a little bit. We've got some interesting things around here. We're going to get some pictures before we leave this one. I got news for you. The main question guys are going to want to know, of course, Scott.
Right.
You want to do this work. You want to do a 96-inch motor, this and that and the other. Can you give us a ballpark what it's going to cost a guy to bring you a motor and say, here, would you do it for me?
Average is, I'm thinking around 35 to 4 grand, depending on if you need carburetor or without carburetor. I mean, there's so many different options.
Okay,
but its average is about 4 grand. Bring a motor in, carry it back out, and it'll be all done.
Okay. So $4,000 you figure is going to get you a brand new motor with a lot of power.
Yep.
It's going to be a piece of quality work coming from Scott. You can believe that. And is that something that they figure is going to last them just like a stock motor?
Correct.
Okay.
They'll last just as long as you change the oil.
Right.
And watch your timing and watch the fuel you put in it.
All right, let's get back to something that I've gone back and forth on it with a couple of guys on. What are you recommending for oil? Say an Evolution motor.
Well, I usually use Harley oil or Mobil One. A lot of people, but in the summertime, a lot of the dealers still like to run 20-50. I tend to run 60 when it gets hot.
Straight 60 weight in an Evolution motor.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's still in their cooled motor.
That's a shock to me.
Yeah, I mean, when it gets hot, it gets pretty thin, I think. So
I've been running 20-50 Valvoline racing oil in my Evo since it was brand new.
Yeah. I mean, if it's like...
Of course, I change it every 2,500 miles, almost without fail.
Air temperature, if it gets up to like 90 degrees all the time, I would definitely run 60 degrees.
Straight 60 weight?
Yeah, even if it's 80 degrees.
No kidding, because you know where I ride.
Yeah.
I'm down in the desert, brother. It's 110.
If you're in the desert, I'd run 60, no problem.
Okay.
If not 70.
All right, how about a twin cam? Are you working on twin cam, Scotty? I know you were kind of resistant to that in the beginning. But
yeah, they're okay. The only thing I really like about a twin cam is it's got big cases, so you can build a big motor.
Okay.
But other than that, some of this stuff is not that great. I mean, some of the aftermarket stuff made for it is way better, but they're getting better. I mean, the mapping part kind of sucks.
Last week, Steve Ruby and I were pointing up some of the weak parts of that cam drive system.
Right.
And I was sort of talking up the SNF gear drives.
Yeah,
that
I
they're
mean,
making
that's
for it.
probably one of the best things you could do for a swing camp.
For a pretty reasonable price. Steve says he can get it done for $1,200-$1,300.
Correct.
Get that done, parts plus labor, so that isn't too bad.
Yeah.
And then you're basically worry-free about your cams.
Right.
I don't know what you'd have to check beyond that, but
The only other thing is if you rod the motor, I've been hearing that the flywheels are starting to shift a little bit
no kidding.
because they do not have nuts on them. They're pressed together cranks.
Right.
So the aftermarket cranks, I haven't heard about them though.
Okay.
So maybe you're better off building a bigger motor.
Could be. Hey, you're never going to hurt yourself building more power.
Right.
When in doubt, stroke it. That's
right.
what we always used to say. All right. So oil for those, same deal.
Yes,
I
I think so anyway.
Steve's pimping, and I'm not pitting anybody against each other here, Scotty. But a lot of the guys, especially the factory trained guys, are going with the synthetics.
Yeah, there's some good synthetics, and I mean, I'm not into the synthetics as much. Like the Harley one, it seems to the motors rattle more with it.
Okay.
A little more noise out of it. Mm-hmm. Mobile one is a synthetic, and it works real well.
Okay.
I'd rather put that in there though.
Okay. Cool. Well, there you have it. Anything else you want like to say to guys about anything? Care for their motor, proper way to do it, just power, whatever they want to do. What if a guy comes and says, "Hey, I want to build a 120-inch ground pounder"?
No problem. They're easy.
Yeah.
They'd last a lot longer than the old motors did.
Right.
Because they got different length cylinders, taller cylinders, which helps the piston size.
Okay.
So they don't wear out so fast.
Understand that. I blew a connecting rod right through a case.
Yeah.
On a big inch generator shovel head one.
Yeah.
I was drag racing with some asshole.
Yeah.
I was beating him too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. Any questions at all? You got work you want done? I'm telling you, if you want to build your motor up and get it powerful, make it work right, bring it into Scotty. He's the best there is. I've been doing business with Scott for 30 years now.
Long
it is.
time.
It's near 30 years, and I'm telling you, there's nobody that's going to treat you better, give you better value for your money, or get you better work because you want it to work. You can't be sitting next to the road 8 miles north of Mexican Hat, Utah. That keeps coming up, doesn't it? There's a story behind that. Yeah, I'll tell you that story. Anyway, there you have it, folks. Thanks to Scott for spending a little time with us. I know you're a busy man, and again, look him up in the phone book. What's your phone number here, Scott?
303-288-1649.
One more time.
303-288-1649.
What's the address?
1715 East 69th Avenue.
One more time.
1715 East 69th Avenue.
That's Scott's Motors. Come check him out. He'll do the best work you can. Thanks, folks. Don't go away. We're going to be right back. Don't ride off. All right. There you have it.